Spider-Verse.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It is.
Really?
Okay.
Now we're talking. There's a first look that came out.
Yeah, first look.
Across the Spider-Verse Part 1. So we wanted to take a look at the first look. We're gonna watch it.
Predictions, multiverse, No Way Home, leading into this, maybe not. We'll see.
I don't know.
The reason it's multiverse,
I'm gonna lean towards no, but
they're both
I hope
multiverse.
the thing is,
I really
think,
hope not.
I
But
think
you
this
don't
is
want
just
them to be connected.
No.
Well, no, because this is animated. They're
Well,
opening Spider-Man.
I would
into-
really like to see them play with this world,
Yeah.
you know, before any of that happens.
Yeah. But
I'd like
let's-
this to be self-isolated.
Let's watch the first look, and then we'll get into our own thoughts.
Yes.
All right? Meanwhile, in another universe,
Are you dyslexic? Yeah, that's what it said.
in
Another-
another universe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Still Post Malone.
That's not Post Malone. He's in the song, but this is not
Yeah,
him.
yeah.
There he is.
He definitely looks older.
Mm-hmm.
You got a minute?
When? How did she...
Underpants.
And her hair's longer.
It's a long story.
It's pink at the tip.
Is this the room you grew up in?
It is. But,
I could be wrong about this, but isn't the girl that's in Hawkeye play her voice?
I don't know.
Drawings?
what? No.
Good.
Sounds like it.
Could be.
It's Haley Steinfeld. I think that's how you pronounce it. I do this online.
What are you doing here? I mean, I thought I'd never see you again.
What?
Want to get out of here?
Oh. Yeah. Oh.
Bummer.
Spider Woman. Yeah, she is.
That's pretty cool.
Spider-Man grounded?
I mean,
Mm-hmm.
What is this? Like some kind of teleportation hole?
I guess some
Yeah.
way to travel between the multiverse.
This is a completely different look.
Mm-hmm.
This is like anime style. No longer is it.
Oh, that's the future Spider-Man. Like. Okay.
Fascinating. Spider-Man
I really like
across the Spider-Verse.
Miles Morales.
You hear that?
The Miles Morales character.
Part
so
1. Very cool. October 7th, 2022. So it's still a while.
That's
Still a while.
That's why I'm kind of hesitant with bringing Miles into Sony Marvel universe.
Yeah.
Because I like him so much here. I like that this is his story.
yeah, but
And this
Just
is
think
animated.
of-
We're exploring his world in another form of entertainment, and so it's this is going to be a theme throughout the whole episode. But you mentioned there's stuff you can do with animation you can't do with live action, and you don't want to always see that.
Yeah.
You want to keep things in the animated realm so we can see more because it's more versatile.
who do you want to play Miles Morales in a live action?
A new actor.
Oh, you don't want anybody.
I don't want anybody like fresh.
Well, not fresh, but like Tom Holland. He had movies
Yeah.
out, but he was
still pretty fresh.
he was young. Like I remember being like, "Wait, whoa, he's really young." And I looked up his age, and he was like 21 at the time, or something like that. And I'm like, "Oh, he's a lot older than I thought." But he seemed young to me because I saw him in The Great.
The Great?
Is that what it is?
I don't know what you're talking
It's
about.
the one with the tsunami,
Oh yeah.
where he's like a 10-year-old.
Yeah, he was really young in that.
His family went to this resort, beach resort.
Oh,
and
yes.
Tsunami hits. Yeah,
With Ewan McGregor
yeah.
was the dad.
What do you think? What would who's the kid from Stranger Things?
Ooh,
Would he play good as Miles Morales?
I don't know, because Miles is Latino as well.
Is he? So
Yeah.
he's mixed?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
his mom's Latino and his dad's black.
Okay, let's see. Well, that's the thing. We might not have anyone on the scene that would fit this role.
Yeah,
Honestly, truly, that's
what
young.
But there's definitely somebody in Hollywood
Yeah. Okay. So
who could play Miles.
here's the question: if we got a beautiful story between the first one, now this one coming out next year, and then later on, because I guess there's going to be a part 2.
Mm-hmm.
Would you say should they do a live action of Miles Morales' story?
No, I think he'll definitely be brought into the MCU at some point.
At some
He
point,
will.
But it's
He
not
will.
going to be connected with these.
They've already announced 3
3 more Spider-Mans.
more Spider-Mans
After
No Way Home.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure one of those is going to contain Miles
Well,
Morales.
I mean, as time goes on, we're seeing Miles brought into every Spider-Man IP.
Okay.
All of them. The games, you know, they start out with Peter Parker, but eventually you can play as Miles. You play like an add-on to the game, which is just Miles' story.
Yeah.
And it seems like, you know, the movies are doing Miles now, and maybe the MCU will. So I think we're getting towards maybe just doing maybe Miles being Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And sort of moving on from Peter Parker.
Okay, so here's my question.
Yeah, what's your question? Question?
So if we're getting into Miles as Spider-Man, and I know at this point, once No Way Home comes out, we will have how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 films with the traditional Peter Parker Spider-Man.
Yeah.
3 different versions, 8 films. Is that enough to cover the comic book?
I think so.
Is that enough to
I think-
suffice the Peter Parker
Well, I mean, how
Spider-Man
many, you know-
story before we start introducing the next generation of Spider-Man?
See, that's where I didn't care for
Peter
him.
Parker, Tom Holland is still pretty young.
I didn't care for his Spider-Man and his age and who they had, the actors and everything. But I think Andrew Garfield, his Spider-Man was truer to the comics, because Spider-Man, he falls in love with Gwen Stacy. Gwen dies.
Also, the
and then
webs.
Peter, and then MJ comes on the scene. That was
Yeah.
something that we didn't have in Tobey Maguire's, or we don't have in
Tom Holland.
Tom Holland's is left field. They've adapted into the MCU more.
Yeah. And they still keep MJ,
Yeah,
but it's that they just do away with Gwen Stacy.
yeah, well, yeah. I mean, Gwen Stacy was in the Tobey Maguire one, but she was this like
Oh,
different.
yeah.
It
Wasn't
was
she like a
different.
reporter or something?
She was.
Was she in the third movie?
She was.
It was like the
She was. What's the guy that played Venom? What's?
Oh, yeah. I know who
it
you're
was
talking about.
his girlfriend.
girlfriend.
He kind of stole. Peter stole from him, and he got
So
mad.
they defiled Gwen's
her
character in Tobey
story.
Maguire 3,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which is kind of that's messed up. But I would say
think-
I agree. Andrew Garfield's, even with the suit,
The story was
how
better.
he created his own web machine, but he still had the specific powers, and the suit
Was
and
a lot more
everything. It
comic
was just
booky.
much more comic book
Yeah.
true.
The but with the movies, with the shows, we've seen enough Peter, in my opinion. There's so
Well,
many.
apparently we're
there's
gonna
so
see-
many TV shows.
3 more Peters. After
I don't,
this
which
next
I don't
film.
mind, but we've seen a lot of Peter Parker. I think it's time to
yeah.
Scoot
you know,
around.
pass the torch.
Yeah.
You know, let's see some of Miles' story. What he gets into.
Yeah.
But we still haven't got enough for that scene, you know, on the subway. Spider-Man, Spider-Man.
Yeah. How
We
come
need
they
more
haven't
of
brought
that.
any of that in? We get. I mean, we don't get the subway thing, but at the end of this, did you hear that little that
Yeah.
kind of thing at the end of this?
Yeah.
It's got that brass.
or the ding 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 Spider-Man.
Gosh dang it! May I introduce a concept?
Okay.
Before we move on, so let's call it 30 to 40 years from now.
Mm-hmm.
Cinema looks completely different.
Of course.
Very different.
Like in our
lifetime.
Oh, I thought you were talking about
We're gonna be
45
45 to 55 ages, right?
Yeah.
This period of time.
Well, I won't. Because I'm gonna stop aging at 25.
That sounds good.
No, 26.
You got to give yourself another year.
Yeah.
Year buffer.
I want to say like 28.
I'm not
28
even 27 yet, guys. So that's
I
pretty
didn't
good. That
derail
sounds
the
good to me.
conversation this
Look,
time.
I'm just saying. I think 28
That
is
was
the
why.
perfect area between young and
28?
Yeah.
That sounds good to me. I'm good with 28. That means we stop aging in 2 years.
I think you look the best you can.
I mean,
look.
if I could grow a beard 26 or 27.
by 27, 28, you'll be able to do that.
The thing is, I think a man's perfect beard growth happens about 32.
Yeah.
If I'm
Somewhere
being
in
real
there,
honest.
probably.
Yeah, but I don't want to be that old because then, it's harder to lose weight. My body's adapted to 32.
Not
It's
necessarily. You have to put in just a hair more work, but you're not
I
too
don't
old.
want that hair. I don't
But
want that hair.
if you're 30, you've got the physical
the-
body to be able to work out.
Yeah.
But I've got the gray
It's
hair
not
already.
aging.
What do you think is going to happen in 6 years?
Josh was trying not to be salt and pepper for eternity.
Yeah.
It's over, dog. It's over.
You're
You
already
lost.
starting.
You
You're
lost.
already
I know.
salt and pepper.
I know. I think I'm
It's
going to
too
start
late.
pulling the link and just
Just dying it early.
Dying it, yeah,
Oh
yeah.
gosh.
What were you trying to? If we're about 45.
30. Okay, let's call it 55. So we
Jeez.
have kids. Cinema looks completely different at this point. All right, completely different. Do you think they say, remember those Marvel films?
Oh,
Pretty outdated, huh? It kind of reminds you of those old Narnia films that were done by BBC.
no,
the
no,
BBC.
no.
Listen to me. Hear me out. We look back on these films and we're like, they're pretty outdated. Do you think they start over with new cinema when we're like age 55? Do they start over?
See, I don't think we're gonna be like that because the Marvel movies that we think of as today is going to be in that period of time. It's gonna be like what we think of as like Back to the Future, or what's like a good '80s movie. What's the first thing that pops in your head? Good '80s or
Blade.
E.T.
E.T.
The
Yeah.
70s, I think.
Well, but we still
Jurassic
those
Park.
movies. Yeah, those movies
Let's
still
just call it
hold
Steven
up.
Spielberg.
Yeah, those movies still hold up today. So
Yes, but we look at them
is
and we
gonna
don't
be
say they're bad films. We think those are great films. Imagine if like Steven Spielberg were to do that today. You know what I mean?
he does. Ready Player One.
Oh my gosh.
You gotta stop.
No, I'm not.
I'm just asking
Josh,
the question as a cash grab, and because cinema's going to be so different when we're in our 50s, mid 50s, maybe even 60s. Do they start over?
Here's kind of what I hope the future looks like.
Because the
for
next 10
movies.
years, we're going to keep getting Marvel to next generations.
Here's what I hope it looks like. I hope it's gotten to the point where movie theaters, companies have kind of, as technology changes and evolves, I hope that it's more like they say, what do the consumers want?
Yes.
What do people want, instead of let's make this, see what happens?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is like
This
a
is
sequel to
we are
something.
doing all the right things in this movie, so it should be good. But that's not always the best formula. You need to go out and
Get feedback.
get feedback, and by that time, hopefully, they'll know that if we put this movie out, people aren't going to like it. I hope audiences will have more control over what gets released,
Yes.
or what they want to see.
But you do realize we're already doing that.
Yeah.
And it's not, it's,
with like Wheel of Time.
no, we're not talking about reviews after the fact, kind of, but even just by group testing. So Netflix gets money whether they make crap or not.
Mm-hmm.
That's how they set up their business. They don't have to sell films. They just have to sell a subscription.
Mm-hmm.
Netflix has a like button or a dislike button.
For real?
Yeah.
I've genuinely never liked anything. Let me go on there.
But
and
we're already
declare one
starting.
right quick.
We're already starting, and it's going to get more elaborate. Imagine big movie studios testing every single piece of entertainment the same way YouTube does.
Yeah.
YouTube knows exactly what people like and dislike, and they can have a really good prediction.
I think you mean like. They know exactly what people like.
They know
because there's no dislike.
Yeah.
Oh well, you can dislike it, but
But
Well,
you
they
know,
got a
YouTube.
back-end
I guess.
thing they can tell.
17 years in, YouTube knows exactly what is going to work and not work, and
catered to a single person.
cater to a single person.
Yeah.
Now we just need the rest of the industry to do that. That's going to do the fans a service.
Well, I feel like Netflix has already sort of started down that road.
They have.
They've released.
Once you create an app, you can do it.
They released like Love, Death, and Robots. They take a whatever on the back end viewing looks like, and they say this is what people like. This is what people want to see. Yeah. And they take shows like Squid Game or Arcane or Midnight Mass, and they say this is what people like. This is what they're watching. Let's focus on these areas.
Yes.
I think that's going to be implemented a lot more in the future.
But right now, as far as the subscription model, everyone has suggestions based on what they think you like, but no one's doing it as strong as Netflix because Netflix is trying to make serious strides. I personally think I don't know all the details of what the future of entertainment looks like. We know it's going to be online based because it kind of already is. But I think the next big move is how does everyone figure out exactly what the fans are going to be happy with?
Yeah.
And if they deter from that, then it's a political statement and everyone knows it. Pretty much. You know what I mean? Because right now they're doing a lot of woke shows, especially on Netflix, and they know it's being enjoyed by specific crowds. You know, New York people, California people. They're liking these shows because it's within their politics. But to suffice the whole world or the whole nation, even at a smaller scale, they are going to have to be more strategic, and everyone's going to know why this was made and for who.
Well, they'll have to start being less pointed.
Yeah.
It'll have to stop being, unless you're making a show specifically about a certain issue. That's very specific and
Be more
that's
specific.
Well, that's what the show is about. Like, say if you're making a show about suicide, that's what the show is about.
Yeah.
You know, it can't just be like in a show and it's barely addressed.
It's
like,
just a part
it's
of
just
the
part
character.
of life. It's just part of this,
It's
or
part of the story development.
So I think, but when they're making shows for everybody, they're going to have to stop being as pointed and just start being more generalistic.
Yeah. Do you think Marvel has done well with that? Riding the middle ground to appease everybody, especially in this very
In some of them.
triggering climate.
In some of them.
In some of them.
In some of them, they've been a little bit more pointed.
I think I see like on the right side, like very patriotic with Captain America.
Yeah.
They do a lot of service there. The
I don't
hero,
know. Captain America was always a thing.
the
so
hero,
it's not Marvel. doing that.
pro good guy, like rise up. Very patriotic kind of messaging mixed with more of the, I guess you would say, social justice narratives that's thrown around. Even though some of like the heavier hitting tries on the social
I don't know,
justice,
that's
like
kind of what
Captain
Marvel's
Marvel.
always been with the comics.
Yeah, but like Captain Marvel, the movie was terrible.
That's
But-
pretty bad.
But
That's
that's
just
been
because-
that was like a try to be like, we're gonna do a Captain Marvel film, and it's very powerful women, and they kept her in, even though hardly anybody liked it because it was just done poorly. And,
It felt very pointed, and it wasn't a good movie.
yeah,
You know, the animation, the
Animation
VFX,
sucked.
the story wasn't great.
The actress.
The actress
Brie
wasn't
Larson's fine. She's just Brie Larson.
Yeah,
Brie
yeah,
Larson.
yeah. How, what's Brie Larson?
We're not going to get into it here.
I think personally, Captain Marvel's as a character, even probably based in the comics, is not a very dynamic character.
Not super. She's just really, really powerful.
Yeah.
Which we don't need Superman. That's kind of,
I was talking to Wyatt about this, about why I personally don't like that movie. It's not the whole Captain Marvel side of it. I think it's Fury.
Mm-hmm.
What's something that the thing you think about first when you think of Fury?
Black Cloak.
The eye patch.
Okay.
At least for me.
I thought you were just going to say black.
Black.
I was like,
Sam Jackson.
But no, the eye patch.
Wait, what?
I think what makes him a cool character is this, like, how did he lose that eye? It's the mystery behind his character. We know him as a character, but he's got these subtleties that's like, we don't know how he lost that eye.
Yes.
It could have been this giant battle, but it was some cat going.
It was an alien cat scratching his eye.
It was the dumbest thing ever.
It retroactively made him less cool.
Yeah, like I think he's cool because I'm like, how did he lose that eye? Was it fighting off?
Thanos, baby Thanos.
No, I was gonna say, was it fighting off?
Star-Lord. Rocket.
What is Loki?
A
Ice
god,
giant,
demigod.
ice giant.
Ice giant, okay.
Fighting off an ice giant that tried to come to Earth or something like that.
Well, originally I think he was like he was betrayed by someone, or he got it.
See, that's cool.
Or he got it trying to save like his brother, who eventually betrayed him.
Yeah, like,
and so he remembers it in a bittersweet way.
So it was like he was hanging off a cliff and like, Scar, brother.
Yeah.
But they turned it into
cool.
an alien cat.
Scratch.
Yeah, it just.
To sum up this, bringing it back to Spider-Man.
Oh, are we still going? We still talking about this?
Yeah.
I thought we kind of had moved on past that.
No. We're still talking about Marvel. I'm excited to dive into the Spider-Verse
To the
with
world
Miles
of
Morales. I personally do not think this is going to be brought into live action at all. I agree they're going to bring Miles into the next 3 Spider-Man films, but they might do the whole Dark Knight thing, where they brought Robin in right at the last minute.
They better not.
I
I
think
wanna
Marvel's
see.
a little bit more.
Yeah, I see.
But
I was
the thing
so
is, the thing is, you do 3 more
not being able to
Spider-Man
see
films,
Robin.
give people as much Tom Holland as they can possibly desire. That's 6 films, and then you bring in Miles and start the next generation of Spider-Man.
Exactly.
So that's what I'm saying.
Phase,
They could.
What phase are we on? 5, 4,
Something.
If we got
2?
3 more contracts of
Phase-
Spider-Man, they're not
phase
bringing Miles to the
7?
end.
Yeah.
They wanna address some really cool villains in the next 3 Spider-Mans. I think. At least I hope. I don't want something
And if
stupid
they
like
drop
Electro.
and if what
I don't want something stupid like Electro. Or,
I think they drop Trow.
he's going to be in the next movie.
Yeah.
yeah, but also that's the multiverse, and it's going to be a lot of crazy villains. It's also focusing on Doc Ock and
Green Goblin.
Those are the main ones because you know why? Because those are the favorite Spider-Man films of all time.
True.
Willem is definitely pretty good.
Let's make one final prediction.
Yeah.
Will we see Tobey Maguire? We don't have to see.
No,
Will we? And now the thing is,
we don't. We won't.
Joshua, they're literally bringing Dr. Octopus and the Green Goblin with the same actors from Tobey Maguire universe. Do you really think they're not going to?
They're also
let's
bringing
make a
the
bet right
Lizard
now.
and Jamie Foxx, Electro.
Let's make a bet.
That's what I'm
Let's
saying.
make a bet
They
right
could
now.
bring in both of them. Hey, okay, I'm just gonna say this: if we don't see them, this doesn't make sense because in the trailer, Dr. Octopus addresses him like, "You're not Spider-Man." So we're
No,
referencing
we
literally
definitely-
Tobey Maguire.
yeah.
Also, did you guys see the clip? Did you see the clip in the trailer where he's jumping forward and they're all coming towards him? If you zoom in on the lizard,
his eye?
he gets punched, but there's nobody there. There's
Wait,
nobody.
what?
He gets hit.
What?
His face gets punched or kicked, but there's nobody in that shot.
you
And
kidding?
Spider-Man's not
Okay.
throwing any webs out.
This is the thing.
I'm just saying.
Let's
Nobody was there. So wait, they're fighting him from a different universe and they're invisible?
I guess so.
That'd be silly.
Unless it's Doctor Strange doing some magic, but I didn't see any magic happen.
I'm just saying they didn't put it in the trailer because they were revealing the trailer for Doc Ock and Green Goblin, and then in the film, the big wow moment in the theaters is going to be Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield.
I'll do this. How about we're planning on going to see it opening weekend?
Yeah.
If we can get a ticket and whatnot. Whoever. Okay. I say they're not going to be in it. You say they're going to be in it.
Yeah.
If they're in it,
Okay.
I will pay for everybody's ticket.
Everybody?
Or just like
Get a
our
big
ticket.
crowd.
Our ticket. And we're not taking the whole. We're not buying the theater.
You
out.
do realize the odds are against you right now.
The odds are ever in my favor.
No.
Or
The
if
concept
they're
of-
not in it, then you have to pay for my ticket. So
I'll do it.
We'll pay for each other's
That's
ticket.
it?
I'll do it.
Pay for each other's ticket to go.
This is an on-screen bet.
Yeah.
I'll do it.
You guys are making.
I think there. Okay, can I say at least one of them's going to be in it?
Yeah, you can say
So
that.
either Toby or Andrew or both, they're going to be in it.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a big moment. Everyone's going to be like, "Oh my gosh," because that's what Marvel looks for these days. The "oh my gosh" moments in the theater. They wouldn't show us that in the trailer. We thought they might, but they did show us a tease.
Those are the only thing.
with the villains.
Those are the only two people, though. We're not saying like, I don't know, some random villain that isn't announced yet decides to show up like Harry decides to show Harry Osborn.
Harry's dead. I guess so is Doc Ock. So
Yeah. they're all dead.
So is Green Goblin.
they're all dead.
I think the only villain that they showed that isn't dead is Sandman. But
That's
I think
true.
these are different from different universes.
different
They're not
timelines.
from the main, even though that.
They're from different timelines. So you catch them into the multiverse before they die in their timeline.
Mm-hmm.
Then they get put back, and Doc Ock is right back to making that sun thing
The power of the sun in the palm of my
before
hand.
he sacrifices himself.